With good news for today from Baptist Press, I'm Brandon Porter. The International Mission Board says the nations are right next door. A quick trip to the grocery store often means running into your Somali friend, talking to an Afghani woman over a table of green peppers, or chit-chatting with a Chinese man in the checkout line. Many of the 50 million immigrants living in North America are from countries where Western missionaries cannot live. This means most have not heard the gospel message. Reaching out to different cultures and nationalities can be intimidating, they say, but there's no need for churches to reinvent the ministry wheel. The Diaspora Mission Collective is gathering resources to mobilize and equip North American churches to engage people groups globally and locally. Diaspora means the movement, migration, settlement, or scattering of people away from their indigenous homeland. These groups are often found in urban areas throughout the world, but not always. They come as immigrants, refugees, or international students. Everything is new to them as they adjust to a new country and culture. They're often curious and more open to new ideas than at any other time in their life, IMB experts say. Jamie Naramore, the cross-cultural strategist for the Arkansas Baptist State Convention, has seen this curiosity leading to gospel belief as it's been played over and over in his state. International students come to saving faith, new church plants start among diaspora groups, and churches reviving as their congregations become multi-ethnic.
Good News for Today is made possible through our friends at the Voice of the Martyrs, a nonprofit organization that serves persecuted Christians around the world. Founded in 1967 by Richard and Sabina Wurmbrand, VOM is dedicated to inspiring believers to deepen their commitment to Christ and to fulfill His Great Commission, no matter the cost. Find out more and sign up for their free monthly magazine at vom.org/good news.
In wake of the Supreme Court's recent ruling overturning the court's 1973 decision in Roe v. Wade, there has been a chorus of rejoicing among pro-life advocates. But the cheers of the pro-life community have been matched by the public outcry of those lamenting the court's monumental decision. The recent results of an NPR PBS NewsHour Marist national poll say that the precedent the Supreme Court decision set is opposed by 64% of Americans. Another poll, the Harvard Harris poll, also says that a majority of Americans did not like the decision that was made by the High Court. To learn more about the data found in the surveys and its ramification, read the full story at our website, baptistpress.com.